Good evening. This is Dr. Garrett, and I trust you are having a wonderful day. Happy Sabbath, and I want to lift up everyone to even greater heights in your relational and your marital functioning. Today, I will briefly discuss the temperature gauge perspective. The temperature gauge perspective. And this is carried on and continued from the car perspective. The temperature gauge is the instrument that's located in your car on the left-hand side of the dashboard. Now, if you happen to be stuck in traffic for quite some time, it is recommended to turn off the car. The reason why you don't keep your car running is that your car can overheat. And if you're stuck in traffic and you gradually look at the temperature gauge, it will start to increase, which basically means the car is overheating. If you was ever found in this situation, you are called to drive to a safe location, allow the engine to cool before you drive to your destination. A lot of times, people may put water in the gas tank in the efforts to cool it down. Biblically speaking, water represents truth. And the parallel with the temperature gauge perspective is lacking emotional intelligence. In the brain, there is an organ called the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus regulates the body temperature. The hypothalamus is attached to all the major organs through fibers. So when we are stimulated by our emotions, when we are in overdrive, the hypothalamus releases hormones that actually decrease stress, and it helps us to get back on track. It's called the body temperature. When the body temperature is off track, meaning we are overly stimulated, the hypothalamus helps calm ourselves down. But what happens when we are constantly on emotional overdrive? The hypothalamus hormones depletes itself, and we tend to age prematurely because we have accepted the fact that life is about stress. Now, I just want to pause here to help you understand that emotional intelligence is something that we all should strive for. To be able to have heightened emotional intelligence means that you have to recognize there are negative emotions that are not solution focused, such as anger, bitterness, frustrations. These emotions are self centered, they are guided by your own thoughts and your own behaviors, and it basically means you are stuck. It's as if you are in your car and you stuck, not going nowhere. Many people are stuck in the problem and they have no energies for the solution. So we are called to heighten our emotional intelligence so we can engage in solution focused activities. In a couple's relationship, women are usually defined as being very emotionally, men are defined as being very analytical. So, in order to be balanced, men are challenged, wives are challenged to sanctify or make the husband better in their intellectual function by showing them and demonstrating emotional intelligence so you can heighten their intellectual functioning, right? Husbands likewise are to captivate and help the wives elevate their emotional intelligence by demonstrating to them what it is like to live in high intellectual functioning. So we are called to complement each other so we grow gracefully and we grow concretely and we grow to be the best we can be so we can elevate each other, help sustain the marriage, and most importantly, create an environment for our children to shine. So this passage um, is exemplified and supported by John 14:6. Once again, the title of this discourse this evening is the temperature gauge perspective. Now, how do we go about improving our emotional functioning or our emotional intelligence? I'm reading from the King James Version, and this is John chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by me. So, in order to accept Jesus as the way, the truth of our life, we have to give him all of our faculties. We have to give him our mind. We have to give him our hearts. Hearts and mind is synonymous because the truth of the matter, this great controversy that's going on within ourselves, is in our mind and our hearts, where we can give him complete control of our being as well as our senses. The way basically means that we're going to follow him in truth. And truth gives us knowledge to have clarity, to have sustainability, to have conviction in the truth. So we can have healthy relationship. And by obeying Jesus and living in truth, we can have enjoyable and purposeful life. Now, here's the challenge. Um, Jesus does not enforce us to worship him, and worship him is a lifestyle. It's free choice. We have free choice to live our lives the way we want to do. Yet, nevertheless, we will always find conflicts. And when you have two people come together and they each focus on their own point of view, because you become a guard to yourself, you're going to find yourself butting heads. And the text that represents button heads is contrary to John 14:6. I'm reading from Proverbs 14:12. And once again, this is from the King James Version. There's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death, which basically means that we're not always going to come with the right solutions on our own accord. The way that we live is based on the acronym CERT. Our culture, experience, reasoning, and traditions guide us. And this CERT is influenced by family of origin experiences as well as past relational experiences, which may or may not be healthy. We tend to live in our past experiences, and these issues can lead to present and future relational conflicts. Now, the truth is, what are we going to do when we find ourselves going down the same foxhole? The issue that we face today in this relationship is the same issue we faced in our previous relationship, and in our family of origin. I am engaging in the same behaviors my dad did, my grandfather did. So what am I going to do to change? When am I going to sober up and to realize that the best way for me to handle my problems, I need to look for truth outside of me, right? And I have learned doing counseling for the last 20 years, whether it's in church or whether it's in my own ministry, on working with families for the last 34 years, it's important to be able to examine, to reflect, to be accountable for one's action, to be transparent, and also to say to yourself, I don't have all the answers. I need to sober up to realize that it's not good to always argue and bring up past issues, and you find yourself in the same foxhole weeks and weeks at a time, and you seem like the relationship is not going anywhere. There always should be an outcome in a healthy relationship, right? It's help to stay focused, stay relevant in the present, and to have the fortitude, the defense mechanism, to the resiliency, the protective factors in order to move forward in the spirit of humility, ownership, transparency, have healthy communication, ability to compromise, to be committed in a relationship, to have a true conversion experience where you marching forward in newness of life and leaving the past in the past. So briefly, I just wanted to discuss there is a way that represents truth, it represents life, it represents abundance and faith, and it represents wholeness to keep the family together in these last days, as opposed to going down the same road that you did in the past, and the end result is destruction. Just think about the World Trade Center incident, which was seen worldwide, whether in person or on the news. You think about the pandemic, and on the East Coast, we had the most recently, we had the earthquake and we had the eclipse. What else needs to happen to get our attention to sober up so we can make wise decisions to edify each other, edify our spouses, and bring harmony back in the relationship? So, tonight's discussion is called the temperature gauge perspective, and our temperature should always be manageable. We are challenged to increase our level of differentiation, which combines our intellectual and emotional intelligence, separated from family of origin experiences and past relational experiences, so we can think higher, walk taller, walk with clarity, with conviction, with purpose, with determination, with endurance, and with grace and mercy, so we can be the best we can be, not only for ourselves, but for everyone who we come in contact with. Once again, this is Dr. Garrett, and I hope this video will give you a sense of slowing yourself down to get in control of your emotions, so you can have better decision-making activities, the spirit of discernment, and most importantly, edify yourself and your significant other and your children. Enjoy your evening. Have a great day. Share this video with others, and remember, strive for perfection while settling for excellence.